Car's been starting pretty rough and wants to stall at idle. Ugh. Might be time for a new crankshaft position sensor. Hold my monster. Been a long road to this point. It started with the car actually giving me a check engine light and giving me the P001 code or something like that. Basically, camshaft sensor and also the crankshaft position sensor. So I've actually had the car tub mechanic. He replaced the camshaft position sensor, which seemed to kind of help a little bit. But still having all kinds of problems with the car when I tried to start it up. You get the where it would just turn over and turn over and turn over, but like wouldn't fire. And then when it would fire and it would start up, you get stuff about the traction control being off and things of that nature. So I've also replaced the variable valve timing solenoids, changed out the oil, all that kind of stuff, and things have gotten better, but I still occasionally have trouble with it just wanting to crank and not start. And I don't get the thing so much anymore about the traction control, but now I kind of have a problem where it's progressively wanting to stall more and more at idle. And it's gotten to the point that I'll be driving in just about any time I come to a light, it seems like it's going to stall out. So that's where we are today, and I'm going to be replacing the crankshaft position sensor. It's kind of my last stop before this becomes a huge timing issue and I got to go to a dealership and have them take the engine apart. So fingers crossed that this will be the solution. Now before we start, we need to make sure to disconnect the battery, which is in the trunk. Don't close your trunk after disconnecting the battery. I've made that mistake before. Can't get into the trunk in this car. I don't have the pass-through. I don't have fold-down seats. That was a hassle. But if you do that, I have a video on how you can actually get into your trunk. So check that out if you need to, but don't close your trunk. All right, well, let's get started and see how it goes. It's kind of difficult to get a good angle here because it's very tight under here, but just give you an idea of placement and where we're at. This is the oil pan and there's our drain bolt. Then right here we have the drive shaft. Now up above the drive shaft, it's kind of hard to get right there, is the starter. In behind the starter is where we're supposed to find our crankshaft position sensor. So we need to take this out first. You'll see that bolt right there at the back of the starter. That's where the red power cable was hooked to. That was just a nut on there. It's a 13mm nut. So I've already removed that. And then let's see if I can get the camera in here. You can see this bolt right here on the bottom is hooking the starter in. So I've gotten that loosened. And there's another bolt up above on the other side of the starter that was holding it in place. Both of those bolts are 13mm, as was the nut on that power lead. Also, on the back of the starter, you can kind of see it right there, there is another power clip, which I haven't figured out how to undo yet. So that's going to be the tricky one. I'll certainly help in being able to get this thing out of the way. So there's where we're at. Got the starter out of the way, and you can see the sensor is right there. So let me pull this camera back down here so you can see. It's up in here. It's kind of hard to get to. It looks like it's going to pull out towards the top of the car. Now, I never was able to get that other cable unhooked from the starter, so
it's just kind of dangling there. I don't recommend you do that. So, yeah, I'm doing something stupid there.
Alright, so we've taken the starter out. We've replaced the sensor, which, man, that clip was a pain. That was the biggest pain of a clip that I've ever had to undo. So, good luck with that. Got the starter put back in. Everything hooked back up. Batteries hooked back up. I'm in the car, ready to start this thing. Gotta admit, I'm a little scared at this point. So, we'll see. Now, I do not expect this to start up clean. Just from everything that I understand, there's a learning process and everything with the crankshaft position sensor, the camshaft position sensor. Since I had the battery disconnected, it might just kick it off on its own, or I might have to take it to a mechanic and have them actually do that with the OBD2 port. Apparently, there's some way that you can do that. So, all right, enough chatting. Fingers crossed this thing don't explode. Here we go. All right, well, I hooked the starter back up apparently because it started, so that's good. There's definitely a shimmy to the car though, so I got a shake going on here. I don't know, maybe this might even out over time. It looks like I had the battery unhooked long enough that it actually did clear out some stuff because my TPMS is going into relearn, so we'll see. Alright, well, probably not going to make you sit here and watch this whole thing unfold. I'll update you on progress after a little bit here. Final thoughts. The new crankshaft position sensor is doing great. The car's idling better than it has in I don't know how long. I did end up getting another check engine light that came on for the camshaft position sensor. So I did take it to a mechanic and told them what I had done, and they said, yeah, you got to do that relearn. So apparently, according to them, disconnecting the battery doesn't kick off the relearn. You actually need to have that done. So he did that. The check engine light went away, hasn't came back. Everything seems to be running really good. So totally recommend the new crankshaft position sensor if you got stalls at idle and trouble starting the car. It seems to be a pretty no-brainer to replace if you can do it yourself. The part's only like 40 bucks, so it worked out good. Now I will tell you, it took me darn near 5 hours to replace this thing. Now I was laying on my back underneath the car, which I don't think Cadillacs are really designed to be worked on that way. And there's a whole lot of reaching around parts, and it's really tight. It's not an easy thing to do. So if you don't fancy yourself to be terribly mechanically inclined, this might not be one that you tackle yourself. Maybe you should take it to a mechanic. But hey, it worked out well for me. Really happy with it. Huge weight off my mind because it's been one heck of a process getting here. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you guys found this informative. Hopefully it's helpful. When I was trying to look at this, I couldn't find any videos about the crankshaft position sensor. So I'm sorry about the quality of the video and probably how easy it is or hard it is to see underneath the car. But at least there's something out there now, and hopefully it helps somebody. If you enjoyed the video or found it informative or helpful, please hit that thumbs up. If you want to see other things I got coming, hit the subscribe. If you didn't like the video, please let me know in the comments why not. Always want to do better. Well, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you have a great day.